Been a while since our last video for Marvel's Midnight Suns. I was moving house, so I've had an awful lot on. I'm now set up and settled in the new house, so we'll get back into the videos again. The series we'll be doing is the best build guide video, so this is where we look at the best cards and all the associated mods for the 10 cards for the featured hero for the video, and I'll tell you which mods you actually want to aim for. So what I'll do is we'll break down the mods first. I'll then show off the deck I'm using, and then to show how good the deck actually is, we'll do some ultimate free gameplay as well. Now before we dive in, if the video is helpful, hit the like, share and subscribe button. But let's jump in. Let's start off by looking at the mods that are available on the cards first. The hero, of course I should say, will be Doctor Strange. I'll just mention very quickly with all the mods we've had listed here, what I've done with each card. I've essentially re-rolled each card at least 100 times so I can make sure I've got all the available mods for them. I'm not going to break down all the mods, instead I'll just highlight the one that personally I'm using. But the card is Winds of Tomb, very useful card. It's got knockback, it's got quick, and you get forceful knockback if you have over 3 heroism. Personally, on this particular card, because Doctor Strange has a lot of free cards that we'll look at later on, they're not generating heroism, so I can lack it a little bit. So personally what I like to go for in this setup is gain 2 heroism on KO. Something that can be really nice as well is the 2 vulnerable or 2 marked. The reason being, the way you would use a card such as this one that's got knockback is you would use the initial hit on an elite enemy and you would knock them back into a minion. They'll take out the minion, you'll get the card play back, and then the status effect that is on that card will be applied to that elite enemy. So for that reason, again, vulnerable or marked can be really nice here if you're not having any problems with heroism. The next card we have is Bolt of Baltac. This particular one, it's enhanced with 4 and 6 heroism to deal an additional, I think it's about 75% of your base damage. This can actually really hit pretty hard. Personally, out of all the different mod types that are available on it, I would most likely go for quick, so you're getting your card play back. The next card we have here is Astral Meditation. With this one you restore 2 combat items, use this mission and you gain 2 redraws in this, and you'll also gain 2 heroism. Now the mod that I go for, it means that you won't gain any heroism on this, but it makes the card free, which is absolutely amazing, especially with some of the combat items you can actually use. I'm going to show them off later on in the video, but this is amazing, and once again you would want to go for the free mod on this. We then have Agamotto's Gaze. With this you draw the last 2 attacks played, you give drawn attacks plus 59 damage, that's 50% of his base damage until played or discarded, and you start the next turn with 4 card plays. This particular one here you can't get free on it. If you could, it would probably be too powerful because it's giving you an additional card play for nothing. So if I was to use this, then I would probably go for that additional 2 heroism, so you're generating 4 heroism in total. We then have an offensive card here, it's Axe of Angarumus. This particular one you're applying 2 weak, so it's really useful, and it's enhanced with 4 and 6 heroism to do an additional 100% damage for each of them. This can hit really hard, this particular one. If I was to add any mods to it, I would probably add quick, although you could get away with adding an additional 25 offense just to bump the damage up even further. We then have Blessing of the Vishanti, an amazing support card. So this one, it gives hero cards in your hand 59 damage for the rest of the mission. This particular card you can get free on it, which just makes it incredible. And what's great about this is once it comes back in your hand again and you play it for free, the damage will actually stack on your card, so you can continually stack the damage up. What's amazing even further is if it's a multi-hit attack, that additional damage will apply to each of the additional hits. So amazing card and mod combo, this one. The next card we have is another one that's got free on it, but I don't actually use that, so it's nice for a little bit of variety. It's Vapors of Valtar. You apply Conceal to Doctor Strange or an ally, and you're restoring health, and you're also gaining heroism. We're not really using it for any of that, we're using it for the fact you can get 2 strengthened on this as well, and when you cast it on other heroes, it'll put the concealed on them and it'll put the strengthened on them as well. Now this, paired alongside some of the combat items you're using, means for certain attacks you can go over 150% additional damage, which is just absolutely bonkers. We have another great card here, Crimson Bands of Sitarak. It's 2 heroic energy to use this. You apply Bind and you apply 1 vulnerable. Now in a previous video I misspoke about Bind. Bind, I was under the impression that when you actually used it and you attacked the enemy, it would break the bind on them. It doesn't actually do that, so you can still attack an enemy after using this. So you mobilise them, you'll do an additional 50% damage for the rest of that turn, and you can get a free mod on this card as well. So having a free bind and a free vulnerable is just absolutely brilliant. We have a great defensive card here in Shield of the Seraphim. It is free heroic energy to use. You apply 1 resist to Doctor Strange and all allies. You cure Doctor Strange and all allies, and it's enhanced with 6 heroism, and then it would give 2 resist to all allies. So that's really pretty great from a defensive perspective. And once again, Doctor Strange has so many cards that has this. Not many other heroes do, but you can get free on this particular card as well. The final card we have here is a legendary Midnight Suns card, free heroic energy, 7 Sons of Cinnabis. You damage each enemy in an area and it's enhanced with 4, 6 and 8 heroism. It gains an additional 100% base damage for each of those different thresholds, and it has exhaust on it as well. In regards to the mods you would put on it, this one I'm not quite sure, to be honest. There's a few that could be useful. You can increase the size of the AoE, or you could, for example, because it's over a decent area, this particular one, you could add vulnerable or mark to it as well. But that's all the mods. Let me show you the specific deck that I'm actually running. So this is the deck that I'm using here. It's near enough a perfect deck. There's just one card I need an additional mod on. But I've got Winds of Tomb, I've got 2 of them, and I've got on KO gain 2 heroism, so that really helps me out in that respect. We've then got Astral Meditation, so we can restore combat items. I'll show them during gameplay, the ones I'm using. They're pretty awesome. This is free to use. We have Blessing of the Vishanti. I've got 2 of them that's got free on it as well. I got pretty lucky there. We've then got Vapors of Valtar. This applies to Strengthened. And then we have Crimson Bands of Sitarak. I've got 3 on this, and then the second one, because I like to have 2 of these, it's really useful to have the Bind and the Vulnerable. I don't have 3 on it yet, it's just a random mod that I've got. But that's the deck that I've got there. It is pretty amazing. Now let's go in and let's do some Ultimate free gameplay. So for this match here then, we went for our tank, our DPS and our support. So it's all about boosting Iron Man really as much as we can. Iron Man and Cap, they have their Endgame modded builds on them, so if you like the look of them, feel free to check out their videos as well. But starting off here, we're going to use this just to see what cards we get on Iron Man. There we go, we've got Air Superiority. So we'll boost that up, and then we've got Restore Your Combat Items. Now this is where things get fun. So if we bring up our combat items, one of them we've got, we don't need the heroism at the moment, is give attack cards in your hand critical for the rest of the mission. So let's use that. The next one we've got here, this one's amazing. Select a hero, they gain Overpowered. That's an additional 100% offense and 2 vulnerable. I'm not bothered about the 2 vulnerable because we're going to nuke absolutely everyone. So we use that on Iron Man. This is actually a nice hand we've got to start off here. So we've got 2 card plays left. We have Vapors of Valtar, which will give Strengthen to Iron Man. You can see Air Superiority. It's not a crit, unfortunately, but it's at 796. So let's apply the Strengthen to him. So that's an additional 150% damage you're adding. Amazing. There we go. We've now got that there. Now before I actually use any of these, I've got a couple of my quick skills, so let's actually use them as well and see if anything comes up from using them. You can see here we're using knocking the minion with more health into the one with more health to take them out, and that was how you could apply the status effects if you wanted to apply vulnerable to that minion, for example, instead of getting the heroism. So let's go for Quick Blast here, just to see if we maybe get another Air Superiority that has crit on it. It would be pretty amazing if we did. Let's see, what are we getting? No, we get Mark Target, but that's still pretty nice because I have 3 on this. So we'll increase the size of it. Let's see. So we're doing 994. Right, let's actually fire this off here. Unfortunately, I don't have precision on Iron Man, so I could use that Air Superiority twice. That would be perfect if I had that, but even still, let's actually use this card before I forget. So there we go, we've got these back again. The combat items we've used. Absolute amazing card, that particular one. So we'll go for air superiority now. We might do a turn 1 clear here actually. It's going to be close to it. Ah, not quite, but definitely close. That marked come in really nice there. And then we've got this one here, so let's fire over here, take them out. And it's just the one enemy that's left now, so you could see that combination in Doctor Strange. We didn't get to see a ton of these cards there, but that's because when you get that combination of getting your combat items and getting your Vapors of Valtar for your strengthened, it's just absolutely amazing. So let's see, we could probably take this one out as well. Yeah, I think this should hopefully be a turn 1 play. There may be the odd hitch in gameplay, apologies for that, OBS is doing that for some reason at the moment. Let's see, now if we actually go over here, or let's see, we can do a knock from here. Yeah, we've still got a move, so we should be able to do that. And there we go. That should be turn 1 clear, and I'll let the next screen come up in a second so you can see its ultimate free. That was really easy, but again, as mentioned, Captain America and Iron Man have already done videos like this for them, so they've got their best in slot deck essentially. So that's what you can see what you can do once you've got 3 characters with the best in slot deck. Ultimate free on the left hand side. So there we go. That's it. Nice and pretty awesome there. So let me know which hero you would like to see in the comments below, and if this is helpful, take the time to hit a like, share and subscribe button, and I'll see you all again soon.